I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. Well, people, guess what? It's all snapping back to liberty and freedom. Yes, in America, the Supreme Court has ruled that an innocent man sent to an El Salvadorian murder prison had to be brought back to the States immediately. Ha ha, good. Finally, the rule of law wins. And the Trump administration, they told the Supreme Court, and this is a quote, go fuck yourself. So now here we are. That constitutional crisis we all were told to be deathly afraid of is here. And we're doing nothing. Well, not nothing. I mean, our president had a taint-licking contest in the Oval Office.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for your leadership.
Well, thanks to your fantastic leadership.
Thanks to your leadership.
Green paper mache.
And then a couple of comedians have been bending over and spreading for a fascist oligarch.
One of the beautiful things about you is that you freeball. It's funny stuff.
He's much more self-aware than he lets on in public. Everything I've ever not liked about him was, I swear to God, absent, at least on this night with this guy.
You know, comedians, like we're supposed to punch up. We're supposed to go after evil and oppression, not do a ShamWow infomercial for it. So here we are in America. You know, in America, we were taught that this couldn't happen here. You know, that we wouldn't ever have a dictator, a fascist ruler whose flabby ass was chapped because his minions have French kissed it into oblivion.
You know, you were overwhelmingly elected.
Under your leadership.
When you called me that day asking for me to take this position, I was honored.
The founding fathers made sure this wouldn't happen, right? Right? Except we are barely 90 days in, and he shut down and raped agency after agency. He's threatened the media.
I believe that CNN and MSDNC, they're really corrupt and they're illegal.
He's threatened to send American citizens to the same torture prison that they sent the legal American resident to.
We also have homegrown criminals. I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country.
I mean, the man wasn't a terrorist. He's not a criminal. In fact, he left his country to get away from gangs. He's a father with 3 American citizen children. And after Trump was ordered to bring this man, who our own government says they made a mistake with, a clerical error, our American president, whose mother was an immigrant, whose grandfather was an immigrant, and made his money with a American whorehouse, Trump's the only second-generation American, yet he refused to bring back a legal resident? And then he had the man who's imprisoning that man, the guy from El Salvador, over for cookies and dictator tots. It's weird, isn't it? How did this douche get elected? His rallies were half full, and people were leaving them in droves. Kamala's were like U2 and the Beatles had given out free tickets. Harris led him in the polls in August by 4 points. In September, she was leading him by 2 full points nationally. And in October, up on Trump by 2 to 4 points in most polls. How the fuck did he win? And why is he still bitching about a rigged election?
They rigged the election and I became president.
Well, as we've seen, Sweet Potato Hitler always accuses his opponent of doing what he's doing. And he got that from one of Hitler's buddies, Joseph Goebbels. Here is what he said. Always accuse your enemies of your own sins. Karl Marx also says something similar. So, Trump was down in the polls. People were leaving his rallies. The press was nailing his ass to the wall, except for Katie Tur. Katie, what is your deal? And yet, he still squeaked out a win. He won with less than half. How is that possible?
Thank you to Elon. He journeyed to Pennsylvania where he spent like a month and a half campaigning for me, and he was very effective. And he knows those computers better than anybody, all those computers, those vote-counting computers. And we ended up winning Pennsylvania like in a landslide, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So thank you to Elon.
Always accuse your enemies of your own sins. And that's how my ex-wife cheated on me with 2 guys and somehow blamed me. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Something's fishy. That's all I'm saying. You know, we need to get those guys in to talk about why the election is so weird. How come the swing states have the weirdest levels of voting we've